Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Somerset folk of all ages, welcome back to Glastonbury Grow Room. We are here on week 20. Absolutely chuffed. There's my mother, welcome. Shout out to all the people who made it down, and absolute huge thanks to all the team that make this happen each and every week. All the artists I've met have been mind-blowing. It's so wonderful to see so many different genres, different vibes and backgrounds all come together in one lovely pub. And of course, humongous shouts out to our lovely home, the King Arthur Glastonbury. If you're watching this now, get down Benedict Street. Come down, have a latte. You can have what are you drinking?
Have a cup of tea.
You can have a cup of tea with mother. The lovely Nikki is on
cider.
Thatcher's with a straw.
A cider. I've got my cider on stage. I'm all set.
And our star of the show has also got a cider. A special gins. Like, absolutely, you can't have too much fancy gin. Shout out to Natasha, our lovely interview host. Tonight, for your listening and viewing pleasure, make some big noise for the one and only, the absolutely lovely Mary Bateman.
Cheers, Joe. Hello, everyone. It's really good to be here. I love this pub so much. I'm going to sing some traditional folk tonight with a little smattering of my own folky compositions as well in here. So hope you like those. Anyway, let's kick off. So, I thought I'd start off. This is a song that's a traditional song. It's not one of mine. And actually, this one was collected just up the road in Bridgewater. Woo! Anyone from Bridgewater in the room tonight?
Close enough.
Yeah. Kind of. Okay. So anyway, this was collected in Bridgewater in the early 20th century by a really well-known folk song collector called Cecil Sharp, who did his rounds on his little bike, loved Somerset, picked up a lot of songs in Somerset. And of course, Bridgewater back then was like a really rich place for seafaring songs. So this song's got some pirates in it. Pirates! It's called Henry Martin, who's the name of one of our pirates. Weirdly, it's picked up in Bridgewater, but he's from Scotland. Don't know how that happened. But anyway, so this is Henry Martin. There were 3 brothers in merry Scotland. In merry Scotland there were 3. And they did cast lots which of them should go, should go, should go. And turn rubber all on the salt sea. Lotto it fell to Henry Martin, the youngest of all of the 3. And he did turn rubber all on the salt sea, the salt sea. Oh, for to maintain his 2 brothers and he. They had not been sailing but a long winter's night and the start of a short winter's day, when Henry espied a tall lofty ship, lofty ship, lofty ship, come a-bibbing down on him straightway. Well, hello, hello, cried Henry Martin, what makes you sail so nigh? I'm a rich merchant ship bound for fair London town, London town, London town. So won't you please for to let me pass by? Oh no, cried Henry Martin, this thing, well, it never shall be. For I have turned rubber all on the salt sea, the the salt sea. Oh, for to maintain my two brothers and me. Come all in your topsail and pull up your mizzen and bring your ship under my lee, or I will deal to you the fierce cannonball, 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 and your fair bodies drown in the salt sea. So it's broadside on broadside, and at it they went for nearly 2 hours or 3, until Henry Martin dealt to them the death shot, the death shot, the death shot, and down to the bottom of the ocean went she. Bad news to England is come, bad news on our fair London town. For there's a rich merchant vessel and she's been cast away, cast away, cast away. And all of her men in the ocean lie drowned. Thank you guys. Nice local song about piracy. It's what we like. Say what as well, between us, I like that one because the bad guys win. They never win. They win in that song. It's great. Anyway, on to my second one this time. This one isn't quite as local, but I have a lot of Irish people in my family and I love the music. This song's called Bold Doherty, and it exists in a few different versions. There's other versions as well, from different parts of Ireland where the guy has a different name and the tune is different, but the story is essentially the same. It's pretty universal. And I love singing this one at my gigs, especially when my dad's in the audience, because me and my dad, we have a fun relationship. He's like a party dad, you know? He's where all the Irish comes from, right? So he has like a party hat, and we go out and we have a few beers, and I prop him up on the way home. And we walk across, because he lives in the middle of nowhere, we walk across fields all the way home and stuff. And so this song reminds me a lot of my dad, because it's about those kind of things, you know, that you're meant to do when you're young. My dad's not that young anymore, but yeah. This is Bold Doherty. Oh, my name is Bold Doherty from the North Country, where there's a still upon every stream. Landlady, be quicker and fetch us more liquor, and bring us a glass of the stronger than cream. If I had you, Molly, so pleasant and jolly, although it's a folly to ask you at all, I would fill up my glass with a mile to the bottom and drink to your Molly beside Donegal with me. Fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll. That's the chorus. You can sing what you want really, because it's Irish. It's like nonsense lyrics. I've a fine pair of brogues I bought home from the market. I craved an excuse to get into the town, So I told my old mother that the seams were all ripped, and I needed some rivets to rivet them around. She clothed my fist with a bright silver shilling. She said the remainder will be your own. She said when you get to town you may take the full naggin, but beware you bring none of your fancy girls home with you. Fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll. When I was crossing the hills of my brave Enniskillen, I went into an alehouse for to take a tram, and I saw two tinkers dividing up a saucepan, although they were arguing about a tin can. And one of them there dealt a blow at the other one, and he said, "You old villain, no, I will take your life." He said, "Your saucepans are leaking and won't hold the water sincere. The bulldog that you spoke with your wife with. Fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll day, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll day." Oh well, when I got home, all the door it was bolted. I rapped to my mother for to let me in. Oh, be gone from this place were the words that she mentioned. For inside this house you will not venture in. Oh, you may go away to wherever you came from, and to kick you out, well, I'm sure is no sin. I said, "Oh, McKenna woman, no, you may hold your temper, for I can get lodgings with Nora Meglin with me. Fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll day, fold the doll doll, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll doll with me, fold the doll day." Oh, so many childhood memories getting locked out because I'm too drunk. Oh dear. So what, you grew up in Somerset, it's like a village pub and you just like, you know, it's entertainment when you're like 19. Where you live. Yeah. This is a local song. This is I should have played Spot the Difference really, but this is one that I've written, which is really exciting. It's on my upcoming album, which I'm still working on. But because I'm still in early stages, and because like just between us, little intimate gig, bleh, I just really wanted to share it, particularly because it's about our area and our mythology and our heritage. So I wanted to share it with you. Now my lovely friend Beth has come all the way from Wales to watch me tonight. Beth is a very talented storyteller. She's very good at inspiring me to write songs about local stories, and this song's about a dragon legend from Wales, I'll tell the story in my song. It's called The Mendip Wyvern. Somerset's particularly, there's loads of dragon legends in Somerset. It's unusual how many there are for a county in England rather than Wales, but we are full of it. That's why our flag is the way it is. So this is about one of them anyway. So this is the Mendip Wyvern. Way fearsome beast who has made up his nest where the sky and the land do meet, where the sky and the land do meet. He's got slippery scales and sharp dagger teeth set deep in his grisly jaws, and vast tattered wings that black out the sky as he stalks his prey over the moors, as he stalks his prey over the moors. And he'll come for your daughters, he'll come for your sons, he'll come for your cows and your sheep. God send us a hero who's able to keep us safe from the mended wyvern. Bold champions came from miles about to slay the murderous one from the marshes of Valor and the castle at Dunster, but all of them came to great harm, and all of them came to great harm. For none of these knights, no matter how fierce, could slay the murderous beast until holy man Jocelyn, Bishop of Wells, that fine bold warrior priest, that fine bold warrior priest. And he'll come for your daughters, he'll come for your sons, he'll come for your cows and your sheep. God send us a hero who's able to keep us safe from the mended wyvern. He set down his crozier, his mitre and cope, but he kept on his amethyst ring with a brown hooded cloak and a staff made of oak. He's away to the fathomless wellspring, he's away to the fathomless spring. And the dragon and Jocelyn fought by the wells for nearly 2 hours or 3, until Jocelyn struck off the head of the worm and held it aloft for all to see, and he held it for all to see. So here's a health to your daughters, a health to your sons, and a health to your cows and your sheep, and a health to bold Jocelyn, protector of us all and slayer of the mended wyvern. Thanks. It's really nice to share that with you guys. Seriously, like. Have a little drink.
Yeah.
Am I sounding a bit?
No, just because you've been singing, you know.
Beautiful. This lady's amazing. I've only met her today, and like she's like adopted. Sorry, Jo. She's Jo's mum, but I want her to be my Glastonbury mum as well.
I'm a Brummy mummy. That's what everybody calls me. Brummy mummy. Africans call me my white mummy.
I have another white mummy. You're my second white mummy? Okay. Anyway, so that's the Mend It Wyvern. That's from the upcoming album, which I'm plugging really hard, even though it's not all finished yet. You get a special sneak preview. The next song, however, The Turkish Revelry. This next song is on my EP, as is Henry Martin, that I played first of all, the one about the pirate. So it's kind of related, actually, this one. Similar themes going on. Way too high. Woo, take it all the way down there. Yeah, it's better. Anyway, so this is called The Turkish Revelry. This is a little bit like Henry Martin in that it's a very old folk song that was like collected back when there were people on little bikes going around collecting folk songs and stuff. I hope that still happens. I think people probably drive these days. I don't know. Anyway, so The Turkish Revelry. This exists again in many, many, many versions. Some of you may have sung one that I don't like as much called The Golden Vanity when you were at school. Which is more popular. But this version, The Turkish Revelry, was actually, I picked it up from an American folk singer called Horton Barker, who I love, and he's on Spotify and he's worth a listen. Hasn't recorded anything since like the 40s or 50s, I think, but really like wonderful songs, wonderful singer. Check I'm all in tune, because it's, and a bit like Henry Martin, this one is about dastardly deeds done at sea. Which, for a landlubber like myself, is like weirdly appealing to me. I don't sail I'm not very good at sailing. Anyway, but so this is about, similarly to Henry Martin, it's about like the betrayals, the dastardly deeds, the like terrible things that get done at sea. So, and it's a bit of a ballad, it's quite long, so sit back and enjoy the story for this one. Was a little ship, and she sailed on the sea, and the name of the ship, it was the Turkish Revelry. She sailed through the lonely, lonesome water. She sailed through the lonesome sea. And there was another ship that sailed also on that sea. And the name of that ship, it was the Golden Willow Tree. And she sailed through the lonesome water. She sailed through the lonesome sea. Said the cabin boy to the captain, what'll you give to me if I sink that other ship down to the bottom of the sea? If I sink her in the lonely, lonesome water. If I sink her in the lonesome sea. Well, I have a house and I have land, and my own lovely daughter, she will be at your command. If you sink her in the lonely, he dove in a breath, and away swam he. And he swam until he came upon the Turkish revelry. He swam right through the lonely, lonesome water. He swam right through the lonesome sea. He had a little boat that he'd made for to board, and so he bored 9 great holes in the middle of the floor, and he sunk her in the lonely, lonesome water. He sunk her in the lonesome sea. He said, Captain, oh Captain, will you be as good as your word? Will you throw me down the road now? Will you take me up on board? I've drowned them in the lonely, lonesome water. I've drowned them in the lonesome sea. Oh no, I will not be as good as my word. I'll not throw you down the rope, no, I'll not take you up on board. Though you've sunk her in the lonely, lonesome water. Though you've sunk her in the lonesome sea. Well, if it were not for the love I bear your man, I'd drown you just the same as I have just drowned them. I'd sink you in the lonely, lonesome water. I'd sink you in the lonesome sea. And he dove in a breath, and down sank he. And he sank until he came to pass the Turkish revelry. He sank right through the lonely, lonesome water. He sank to the bottom of the lonesome sea. Thank you, guys. It's a long one, so thanks for staying with me until the bitter end. Yeah. I'm quite used to depressing songs because I sing folk music and stuff. But that one does get me. I always have to be like, don't cry on stage, don't cry on stage. I think it's the naivety of the cabin boy. You know, he's out on sea, just wants to like make his dreams happen for him, and he's made false promises. It's really sad. This last one is also sad. I promise there's some happy songs in the second half of my set, so stay tuned. This is the last one. I'm going to have a little break, and then I'll be back on stage later. This is a very well-known song, and I apologise if it's your favourite and you've heard it a million times. But I can't leave this out my set ever. It's my favourite. This is Richard Thompson's song, Beeswing, which, for those of you who have heard it, like, okay, yeah. For those of you who haven't, the words are so lovely. Yeah. And I like singing this one in Glastonbury because it's about, wild-spirited women, which is what Glastonbury is all about, and men. But so this is a sort of bittersweet song about someone who couldn't quite settle down and, do the marriage thing. I was 19 when I came to this town where they called it the summer of love. They were burning babies and burning flags, the hawks against the doves. I took a job in the steamy down on Coldrum Street, and I fell in love with a laundry girl who was working next to me. Oh, she was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might have blown her away. Oh, she was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other way. Zigzag across her face and a look of half surprise, like a fox caught in the headlights, there was animal in her eyes. She said, young man, oh, can't you see I'm not the factory kind, and if you don't take me away from here, I'll surely lose my mind. Oh, she was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine that I might have crushed her where she lay. And she was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other way. So we busked around the market towns, and we picked fruits down in Kent, and we could tinker pots and pans and lamps wherever we went. And I said that maybe we should settle down, get a few acres dug, and a fire burning in the hearth, and babies on the rug. But she said, you man, you foolish man, that surely sounds like hell. And you might be the lord of half the world, but you'll not own me as well. Oh, she was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine that a breath of wind might have blown her away. Oh, she was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other. We were camping down by the Gower one time, where the work was pretty good. She thought we shouldn't wait for the frost, and I thought maybe we should. We were drinking more in those days, and our tempers reached our pitch, and it's like a fool that I let last that I heard, she's sleeping rough back on the Derby beat. White horse in her hip pocket and a wolfhound at her feet. And they say she was even married once to a man named Romany Brown. But maybe a gypsy caravan was just too much settling down. And they say that her flower, it's faded now with hard weather and hard booze. But maybe that's just the price we pay for the chains that we refuse. And she was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing. And I miss her more than ever words can say. If I could just taste all of that wildness now, if I could only hold her in my arms today, you know I wouldn't have her any other way. Thanks. I need to go and have a cry in a corner now, I think. Let's all go and cry in a corner. Thank you so much. I'll be back. I'm actually going to have an interview, I think. Yeah. Oh, an interview? Oh, God. I don't have any interview training. This is going to be interesting. Do I just unplug? Am I good? Am I going to make a really loud noise? Am I good?
Ready for unpluggings?
Thank you.
Shout out to my mum.
Right. This girl paid her own expenses here, so there's a hat on the table. Just throw a few quid in, please, because she's had to pay to come herself.
As you can tell from the music, I'm quite local, so don't worry too. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Local people. Woohoo!
Mary Bateman, welcome. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really good. Hi, Tash.
Hello. I love you. You're so amazing. Oh.
Oh.
Scary professional, you say?
No, you guys.
You're scary and
No,
professional.
you're really professional, but you're really lovely. All of you. It's so
thanks.
nice.
And so are you. And your storytelling and your songwriting is just amazing. It really takes you off on a journey.
Thank you. I hope so. I think it's tricky because folk songs are long, and
Yeah.
sometimes keeping people's attention or your attention, even when you're singing them, you have to really engage with the story.
But your voice is so beautiful, so we want to listen to you.
Oh, thanks, Tash. That's lovely.
And everyone has really enjoyed themselves today so far, haven't they? Beauteous.
Thank
So
you.
when did your journey with folk begin? When did you kind of discover it and decide that you wanted to kind of explore the avenue?
Well, I grew up in an area with a very rich history for folk music and things. When I was a teenager, I was in a really great choir actually that was local that has sadly arts funding cuts and whatever. It's gone now. But it's called the Somerset Youth Choir, and the woman who ran it, Penny Dunscombe, was amazing, and she focused a lot on world music and also folk music, and I think that was my
good variety.
Yeah, so that was my first taste. I did this amazing thing. What was it called? Waters of Time at Wells Cathedral, which was like a composition that was written.
Wow.
It was written by a local lyricist and songwriter, and it was all like local legends. So there was that one has a piece of music as well in it about the wyvern. It's quite different to mine, but that kind of fired me up for the local legends and the folk music. And then I got into folk music, funnily enough, when I went away to uni in London, because I grew up in a village with 100 people in it. And then
Where did you grow up? In Somerset?
In Pitney, so just up the road in Langport. Sue and Dave, who used to come in here a lot. Dave's in a band that plays a lot here. They're our neighbours, right around the corner on Wag Drove. So very much tiny village. No shops growing up. It was quite, make your own.
So you had a bit of a culture shock when you went to London?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone was like, oh, London, it's lots of villages shoved together. And I was like, you what? No, it's not.
Lots of boroughs.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, they are kind of I suppose it depends where you go, but which part of London were you at?
I was in East London, Mile End. like
that's
Tower
where I used
Hamlets.
to live in Forest Gate.
Yeah, okay. I actually, do you know what? It was an amazing experience living there, and I met a lot of different people, and I think it was amazing. But I did miss like small town life a little bit, which I never thought I'd say because I hated it and couldn't wait to get away as a teenager. I was like, oh, get me out of here now. And then I missed it. And so my last year at London, I started to get a little bit into what kind of a folk scene there was in my part of London. There was some nice Irish music going on way out east, like right at the end of the Central Line. But it was only really when I went after London, I went to Oxford and studied there for a year and then worked there for a year. So I spent 2 years in Oxford, and that's where I really like got to grips properly with folk music.
Fired up.
Yeah, Oxford's an amazing centre for folk. There's loads going on. There's some great patrons and great musicians in Oxford. There's a folk session every night of the week in a different pub. You know, you can go out till 3 a.m. on a Sunday night and play Irish music with people, which is mental. Like, I couldn't do that in London, but I could do it in Oxford. So, yeah, and I've just kind of kept it going from there, really.
Did you perform at any of those places?
Yeah, bits and pieces. I was finding my feet in London, really. But I played just this year, actually. I did a lot. I was involved a lot in like folk sessions, open mics and small gigs in Oxford. But this last April, I did the Oxford Folk Festival, which was amazing. Got to support the Furrow Collective, who are a band that I have a lot of respect for, and another amazing band called Elfen from Wales. And we got to work, on this. We were on the same.
Been networking with some fellow folk.
It was amazing. It was like super exciting to be able to do that. But I because what I'm writing is based around here. I want to come back now.
So yeah, tell us a bit about your album. You're writing an album that's based around your experiences within Somerset and kind of from your perspective. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, it's an ongoing project. So I'm probably about like a third to half the way through actually writing the songs. There's only 3 in my set tonight from the album, so you are getting more of a
getting a really good
more
taster,
of a sneak preview.
I think.
There's a couple actually that I've written that I haven't performed in front of anyone other than friends and family yet. So it's quite special to be able to do it for you guys. Yeah, the album is nice. It's a mixture of obviously trad stuff, songs like Henry Martin that were collected in Somerset, like the Watch It Sailor I'm thinking about putting on as well. Like as I say, we've got a rich tradition for existing folk songs, but also so many stories that don't get told. Like I can believe there was no story about the Wyvern in folk song at all. Which is amazing. And the Witch of Wookey Hole, again, no like established folk songs about that. There's a pub where I grew up in Langport called Eli's, which it's kind of smaller scale, but it's it's a bit of a legend where we live, and there's loads of stories and history there.
There's so many stories here to be told.
Exactly, and I just kind of want to I want it to be an album that's a mixture of my own telling of my own life experiences and the stories I'm making for myself, kind of poppy, more like older legends as well, stories from the Civil War. And then 1 or 2 that have been collected in Somerset over the years. So I want it to be like a kind of love story to where I live, really.
So where do you find these songs? Where do you go on a kind of exploration? Is there anywhere particular?
So it varies a lot. Wherever I live, I try to go to a lot of folk sessions. Actually, one of my folk session friends, Beth, is here tonight, so it's really nice. We support each other. We collect songs and stories from each other as well, and the folk community is interesting and unique in that you can do that. And there's more flexibility when it comes to sharing, developing and growing material together, which is nice. So partly that, but also, to be frank, we're spoiled nowadays. We have the internet at our disposal, which has its there are horrible things about the internet for sure, but this is amazing. Not something I could have done when I was younger because we didn't have the capacity to do it.
There's always the dark and the light, isn't there?
The dark and the light, yeah, exactly. But also, funnily enough, the internet has been a really good place for finding folk songs that are local in their focus. There's places like Mudcat Cafe, which is a forum for sharing folk songs and folk lyrics. There's the Full English. Is it the Full English online? I think that's what it's called. I think it's the Full English. I don't know. Anyway, it's like a collection of English folk songs and tunes online from archives. There's also free archives on the British Library with wax cylinder recordings from the 30s that you can just dig up. There's loads. And actually, weirdly, the internet has enabled me, I think, to connect with local heritage that isn't necessarily readily available in person anymore locally. So it's lots of different.
So you must have
Mixture.
quite a lot of interest for history then, and kind of.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm doing my aside from my music, my part-time job is a full-time doing my PhD at the moment in medieval literature. So like,
That's amazing.
it's a lot
Keep
of
it alive.
juggling.
Keep all the memories alive.
It's cool. Well, that's where I found out more information about the Wyvern stuff and about religious practice in the Middle Ages and about how Jocelyn was a local man. He wasn't an installed bishop, and so like a lot of the older legends that we have around here, I'm quite lucky in that I have people now who I know from like uni stuff who I can talk to for information about it, and that's really nice. I think that weirdly they complement each other because a lot of the older medieval songs, like the child ballads, which I love, like Tam Lin and stuff like that, definitely are medieval in their origins, I would say. If you look at like folklore motifs from the Middle Ages and medieval literature, there's a lot of overlaps there. So I guess maybe like they stem from the same like place in my soul. Like I love them both, and they kind of connect, but also are different parts of my life. Yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm waffling.
You're a wealth of knowledge.
I just talk a lot.
So when did you start playing the guitar?
Well, I like dabbled a little bit when I was really young, when I was a teenager, at which point I really wanted to be Axl Rose, which didn't work for my voice very well or for my guitar playing very well. And I was like, oh, the guitar's not my thing. And then I picked it back up when I started getting into folk music when I was at uni, undergrad, back in like 2012 or 13 now. And I've been kind of like just like keeping it chill since then. I think the beauty with folk and with especially like the ballads and the kind of folk I really like is you can let the voice lead a little bit and then the guitar backs it up. But I am working on it. My heroes like Nick Jones and like people like that. I just listen.
So
to it.
do you listen to a lot of folk?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's my favourite thing to listen to, really. I think it's good to mix it up. I think a lot of the best folk bands at the moment are mixing it up a bit, like the Unthanks and the Furrow Collective. There's a lot of like creative stuff going on. I really like the Gloaming as well. They've got like classical vibes going on with the trad music they play, which is really exciting. So I think it's good to listen to a bit of everything, but folk is my favourite to listen to for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Is it me? Is it because I'm fumbling?
So where can we find your music? Do you want to listen to your music?
Oh, I think I'm back. We're back on now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So at the moment I have you can basically Google me and my website comes up fairly high up, which is really nice. But I'm also on SoundCloud. If you search Mary Bateman Folk, I will come up on SoundCloud. I've got a Wix website as well. I'm in the process of sorting a domain name out for myself. I know. Professional. But it's all on there. You can stream a lot of it online. Mendip Wyvern, there's a demo version online at the
And
moment.
of course, you're working on your.
My album there's nothing
is-
recorded yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
It's in the pipework.
I guess it's envisaged. It's going to be towards the end of the year, I think now, because it's going to take me a
Are
while.
you doing any festivals? Any performing?
Yeah, bits and pieces. Actually, on the 29th of May, for any Glastonburyans watching, if you're from Glastonbury and you're watching this, you're lazy. Like we're in Glastonbury. I'm playing a gig in Glastonbury May the 29th at the Chalice Well as part of their full moon session, and that's an extended gig. I'm playing for like 2 hours. There'll be tons of material, loads and loads and loads.
So when's that?
The 29th of May.
29th of May.
So very soon, a couple weeks time, I think.
That sounds lovely.
So that's happening. I'm playing Pit Fest in the village I grew up in Pitney, July the 7th. That's happening. There's other bits and pieces. It's all on my website. It's all on my Facebook page.
Go to the website and have a look.
Always got a little list. Yeah, come. Yeah. That's the plan currently.
Well, I think it's time to get back to the second half of your beautiful performance.
Thanks.
What have we got to look forward to? What are you going to be delivering in the next
Bits
part?
and pieces. There's 2 more songs coming up in the second half that I've written. No one's heard these yet. Like in terms of in a gig setting. Nikki's heard them. My friend's here. She's like my sounding board. She's in the red dress over there. But I haven't sung them at any gigs yet. And then plenty more trad stuff. Some more Irish songs. A song in Scottish, like in Gaelic.
Really? Oh wow!
So hopefully.
I look forward to this.
I've tried my best with the accent. I've really worked on it. So I hope you like it. Yeah. So
Give it up for Mary Bateman.
Thanks.
She is amazing.
Yes, Chrissy Lee.
Mums always know best.
Mums sure do. Look at this lovely crowd and rosary. Let's get it on screen this time, bro. Ah, made it. Chrissy Lee. Oh yeah, camera.
Hi again. Right. So I'm going to open the second half with another lovely song from Ireland. This is from one of my favourite Irish singers. He's called Patrick Tunney. And together with his wife Bridget, they managed to supply most of the folk revivalists from the 70s, 80s with their songs. So like a lot of Still I Span songs were taken from Patrick and Bridget Tunney. This particular song is for all the vegetarians and vegans in the house. We're in Glastonbury. Give me a shout. Yeah, I knew there'd be lots of you. A few. Excellent. Sometimes I do that at more conservative gigs and no one does anything and it's like, oh. Oh, the animal lovers in the room. So most medieval folk songs about poaching and hunting don't end well for the animals in the songs. But this is called the Cregan White Hare. And it's got a slightly more positive... I've just spoiled the ending now, but it's got a more positive ending for the white hare in the song. So this is the Cregan White Hare. In the lowlands of Cregan there lies a white hare, as swift as a swallow that flies through the air. You can tramp the world over, but none to compare to the bride of old Cregan, that bonny white hare. One clear autumn morning, as you will suppose, the red golden sun over the green mountain rose. Barney Conway came down and he did declare, it's the day I put an end to the bonny white hare. So he searched through the lowlands and down through the glens and among the wild ditches where the white hare had danced, until at last, coming down over the heather so rare, from behind a white thistle out jumped the white hare. Bang bang went his guns and his dogs did slip too, as swift as the wind o'er the green mountain flew. But his dogs soon came back and it made Barney sigh, for he knew that the white hare had bid him goodbye. Some jolly sportsmen down here from Pomeroy and Cookstown and Gannon and likewise the Moy. With their pedigree greyhounds they've travelled from far, coming down to the Cregan in their fine motor cars. So down to the lowlands these huntsmen did go, in search of the white hare they'd look high and low, until at last on the bog bank all gathered around, 7 dogs and 9 men did that poor hare surround. Oh, no wonder the white hare did tremble with fear, as she stood on her hind legs and raised her big ears. As she stood on her hind legs with one gallant spring, she jumped over the greyhounds and broke through the ring. Oh, the chase it went on, it was a beautiful view, as swift as the wind over the green mountain flew. But those pedigree greyhounds, they didn't run far, If there's any amongst you in Glastonbury Fair, won't you please drink a health up to the bonny white hair? That's your cue to drink. I like folk songs where the baddies win and the rabbits win and like all the people who don't win, the women and like, you know. Just retuning. Just getting it so it doesn't sound like I'm playing it wrong the whole way through the next song. I think that's fine. I think we're good. This is a version of a folk song that's super, super popular. There's, again, like a lot of the other ones in my set, there's various versions of this, and they get played all over the place. Martin Carthy's done this one. Nick Jones has done this one. Lots of people that I really like have done this one, and I think it's really funny. So, and again, it's about drinking and behaving badly and, like, both of those things. All parties in this song are not behaving themselves. So I wanted to share it with you. Does anyone ever, like, when they have a drink, like, they don't really know what's going on? Like, they misunderstand things? Yeah, this is a song about that. So, this is called Coming Home Drunk. It kind of does what it says on the tin. Home drunk, some night I couldn't see. Oh, I saw a horse there, no horse should be there. I said to my wife, tell this to me. Oh, why is there a horse there where no horse should be there? Oh, you fool, you silly fool, she said to me. Oh, that's just the milk cow my mother gave to me. Oh, miles I have travelled, 1,000 miles and more. Oh, the saddle on a milk cow I've never seen before. Coming home drunk, one night I couldn't see. Oh, I saw some boots there where no boots should be there. I said to my wife, oh, tell this to me. Oh, why are there boots there where no boots should be there? You fool, you silly fool, my wife said to me. Oh, those are just the flower pots my mother gave to me. Oh, well, it's miles that I've travelled, 1,000 miles and more. Oh, but laces on flower pots I've never seen before. Oh, one night I couldn't see. Oh, I saw a hat there where no hat should be there. I said to my wife, tell this to me. Oh, why is there a hat there where no hat should be there? You fool, you silly fool, my wife said to me. Oh, that's just the chamber pot my mother gave to me. Oh, well, it's miles that I've travelled, 1,000 miles and more. Oh, but a sweatband and a flower pot I've never seen before. Coming home drunk, one night I couldn't see. Oh, I saw a man there where no man should be there. I said to my wife, tell this to me. Oh, why is there a man there where no man should be there? You fool, you silly fool, my wife said to me. Oh, that is just the baby that my mother lent to me. Oh, well, miles I have travelled, It's a very silly one. Some versions it goes on and on and on. She sees the man and then she sees like, other things. Got to keep it clean, keep it clean. We're being shot live and all that. Anyway, where are we next? I've done that one. Oh yeah, okay. So another slightly more traditional, slightly sadder song now. Oops. Need to drop it back down again for this one. One in tune. Especially this one because it's quite high on the old guitar neck. So, this is a very old song. I think this song comes from Ireland, but there's versions in England as well. It's one of those ones where we're not quite sure where it comes from, but it's pretty universal, so it's lovely. I found this song through listening to Anne Briggs, who I didn't get a chance to say in my interview earlier, but I love Anne Briggs so much. She was the main real inspiration behind me getting into really trad folk stuff. I think she's amazing. She sang this with Bert Jansch, I think, back in the day. Interesting lady. She used to refuse to perform with shoes on, or in buildings, and apparently she ate badger twice while on the road. The first time was okay. The second time she got quite ill because she was pregnant. So, and other fun story. Beeswing that I played earlier. Richard Thompson wrote Beeswing about Anne Briggs. Classic wild woman, as you can tell from the Badger story. Anyway, she sang a lovely version of this. This is called Black Waterside. One morning fair to take the air down by Black Waterside. Oh, it was gazing all around me. It was the Irish lad I spied. All through the fair part of the night, we did lay in sport and play until this young man arose and he gathered his clothes and he said, "Fare thee well today." But that's not the promise that you gave to me when the once you lay on my breast, when you made me think with your lying tongue that the sun rose in the west. So go home to your father's garden. Oh, go home and weep your fill and think on your own misfortunes that you bought with your wanton will. the seas run dry, it's then that you'll marry I. Thank you. It's quite a high one, that one. I try to keep the ratio of woman cheated on and left in a bad way songs on the lower end of the spectrum in my set, but it does get hard. Okay, so this next song is actually a cappella, so I'm just gonna, am I alright to... Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna lay this gently on the floor for a second, because I didn't bring my guitar stand, so I'm very dark. Okay. This is also quite a high song, thought I'd put them together. I mentioned Patrick Tunney earlier, for those in the room who are super attentive. I was rambling about wonderful folk singers who were ransacked by the folk revivalists back in the day. Not that I'm angry because they brought lots of wonderful songs and singers to our attention, but this is another one that I found through Paddy Tunney singing it. Folk songs that, like, they tend towards, they're either like nonsense counting songs, like One Man Went to Mow, or they're like songs about women that end sadly. A lot of them are ballads. This one's actually really descriptive, which is what I thought was interesting and unique about it. It's called Morlock Mary, and ostensibly it's a love song to Morlock Mary, but actually I think it's a love song to the landscape of Ireland that he's singing about. So I thought I'd share it with you. I've got my notebook because it's, as I say, it's descriptive. They're harder to remember than the ballads, which are quite prescriptive. But anyway, so yeah, this is Morlock Mary. If I may note a sec. One sec, I will get there, I'll get there. The very first time I met my Morlock Mary, it was in the market of Sweet Strabane. Her killing glances bereft my senses, the hearts of young men she did trepan. Her killing glances bereft my senses of a peace or comfort both night and day, while in silent slumber I wake and murmur, oh, Morlock Mary, won't you come away? If I were a man of great education, or Erin's lovely isle at my command, I would lay me head on your snowy bosom, in wedlock bands, love, we join our hands. I would entertain you both night and morning, fine clothes I'd deck you in both night and day, and with kisses sweet, love, I would embrace you. Oh, Morlock Mary, won't you come away? On the Morlock's banks now no more I'll wander, where the heifers graze on the pleasant soil, and the lambkins sporting, fair maids resorting, the timorous hare and blue heather bell. I would press my cheese while my wool's teasing, my ewe's milk I would take at break of day, while a whirring moorcock and lark allures me. Oh, Morlock Mary, won't you come away? Now while you'll away to my situation, my recreation is all in vain. On the river mourn with the salmon sporting, the rocks re-echoing my plaintive strain. Where the thrush and blackbird do join harmonious, their notes melodious on the river bray, and the little songbirds join in the chorus. Oh, Murlock Mary, won't you come away? Now it's fare you well, my own charming Mary. 10,000 times I bid to you adieu. While life remains in my glowing bosom, I'll never cease my love to think on you. Now are you all away to some lonely valley, with tears bewailing both night and day, in some silent harbour where none can hear me, since Murlock Mary, you won't come away. It's quite big range, that one. Big range.
Smashed it.
Demands a lot of cider. Anyway, where are we now? This is I played Beeswing earlier, which is I suppose quite poppy for me, but this is probably like one of the poppiest songs in my set. Oh, hi Matt. Matt's here! Yay! That's not. I didn't even notice. I was like. At the ceiling. Anyway, so this is by a wonderful American singer called Lucinda Williams, who not many people have heard of, but very tragic story. Like, her life was quite troubled and things, but she, I think, had a real gift for like making people cry with her singing, you know, and her songwriting. And this song's called "The Side of the Road." And my partner, I love him very much, bless him, but he likes his alone time. And I talk a lot, and sometimes I sing a lot around the house, and sometimes I have to remind myself. And this is a song about someone who needs their space but still loves the other person very much. So you know, it's a nice song. It's called "The Side of the Road." Gonna take it down a little notch. I think that last song is kind of here, take it all down a notch. Anyway, Side of the Road. Side of the road. Let me go and stand a while. I want to know you're there, but I want to be alone. If only for a minute or two. I want to know what it feels like to be without you. I want to know the touch of my own skin against the sun, against the wind. I walked out to the field. The grass was high, it brushed against my legs. So I just stood and I looked out at the open space in a farmhouse far away. And I wondered about the people who lived in it. and I wondered if they were happy and content with their children and a man, and why did she love him? Did she take her hair down at night? If I stray too far from you, don't come and try to find me. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I won't come back to stand beside you. It only means I need a little time to follow that unbroken line to the place where the wild things grow, to the place that I always used to know. Only for a minute or two, I wanna know what it feels like to be without you. I wanna know the touch of my own skin against the sun, against the wind. Thank you. This one's a lot more upbeat, and it's one that I've written. Second one of the night. No one's heard this yet, except Nikki. She's like my sounding board. It's really nice. And my friend, like, you're not just my sounding board. Like, we have other nice things that we do, as opposed to just me singing at you, obviously. Anyway, I'm where I grew up in Langport. We're not that far away from Kingsbury Episcopi. There's a really good Mayfair there. It's like kind of as a village, like it's not really known for much, but I have a lot of happy memories because my stepbrother and I, he now makes his own cider, which is nice. But my stepbrother and I and all of our friends there, the few young people in the village really used to get drunk in fields a lot, and we used to use excuses like the May Festival, the Green Side Fair, which also happens nearby. I'm sure some of the Glasstonians in the room know what the Green Side Fair is. And like, you know, various other, we wassail every year in January and drink a lot of homebrew cider. It's terrible. My dad got into such state this year, but enough about my dad. So I kind of wrote this song about summertime and apple orchards and cider drinking and youth. It's called September Dew, and as with most folk songs, Dew is probably a bit of a euphemism in here, but we won't go into that because it's gross. Anyway, this is September Dew. Sorry.
Mazel tov.
It's after 9 p.m. The sun is up and the clock strikes 8, and I'm walking through my own fair darling's gate. Maggie's in the doorway peeping through with her long brown hair and her eyes so blue. Come on, Maggie, won't you come with me, and we'll spend some time beneath the apple trees, and we'll roll in the cold September dew, and I promise that I'll always remember you. Rosie by name and Rosie by face, Rosie, you make a man's poor heart race. The Somerset girls are the best in the world, and there's no other girl that'll take your place. Apple cheeks rosy, why don't we go to the green, green field where the apples grow and we'll roll in the cold September dew. I promise that I'll always remember you. Oh, scramping is the noblest crime. We'll gather all the apples for the apple wine. We'll find a spot where the grass is long and we'll roll in the dew for the whole night long. With a bottle of cider between my knees and lovely Eliza lies next to me. And we'll roll in the cold September dew. I promise that I'll always remember you. September dew, I promise that I'll always remember you. Bit of a cheeky one. Ooh. My stepbrother actually dated a girl called Eliza for a little bit, so I haven't played him that song yet, and he hasn't heard the spiel, but it's being recorded, so he probably has now. Anyway, this is taking it down a notch. There is actually a little sexy bit in this one, but it's not like Jew and stuff. This is actually quite a sad and moving song, so I think we should all be straight face, right? No, it's fine. Anyway, this song is called The Rambling Irishman. There's a lot of songs that sound like they have similar titles, but this is actually a rather lovely one. It's hard to pinpoint, I suppose, whether this is an Irish song or a early American folk song, because it's about an Irishman, clues in title, who rambles over to America from Ireland because of hard, times back home. It always gets me a bit, this one. It's another one of the ones that I'm always like, oh it's sad. Because he's giving up a lot back home, but there's also a hopeful element to this song as well, which I think is like what makes it, moving. Anyway, this is The Rambling Irishman. The very first night before I sailed, I spent it with my darling from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until the break of the day next morning. And when that we were going to part, we fell in each other's arms. And you may be sure, very sure, it wounded both tan to the na, alright, tan to the nor and the nandy. And the very first night I spent on board, I dreamed about my Nancy. I dreamt I held her in my arms. Oh, and well, she did please my fancy. But when that I woke from my sleep, and I found my bed was empty, oh, you may be sure and very sure I did lie discontented. Right, tan to the na, tan to the na, right, tan to the nor and the nandy, right, tan the na, oh, tan to the na, right, tan to the nor and the nandy. And when we arrived at the other side, we were all stout and healthy. We cast our anchor in the bay, going down to Philadelphia, so that every lad should link with his lads, blue jackets and white trousers, and that every lass should link with her lad, blue petticoats and white flounces. Right, tan to the na, oh, tan to the na, right, tan to the nor and the nandy, right, tan the na, oh, tan to the na, right, tan to the nor and the nandy. Thanks. I really like that song. It's one of my faves. I don't know how long I've got left. I've got a couple songs left. One more? Oh, okay. I'll do this one's mine as well. One that I've written. It's the last one I've written off my set, and it's the last one off my set. I've titled this one Dreamboat for reasons that will become apparent, which makes it sound like a 50s like shoebop doo-wop song. It's not. It's about. I live in Wales with my partner now, and it's after living in London and places that are like too fast and big for me. It's actually really nice and really happy. So this is a song about kind of finding happiness in small moments where we are and where I am right now. So it's my last. I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, so this is Dreamboat, and again, no one's heard this except Nikki. Poor Nikki. She hears all my songs. Rising and falling keeps me afloat, like a boat in the harbour with you as my water. You carry me safe to the ocean of dreams.
bursts at the seams. Ooh, 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 as you carry me safe to the ocean of dreams. Breeze through the window feels cool on my skin. The sounds of the evening find their way in, and I think of the city, the heat and the din, and count myself lucky for finding my home. Oh, in the city you're lonely, but you're never alone. Ooh, so I count myself lucky for finding my home. When I was a young girl, my mother told me, when you can sleep, imagine the sea, lying safe in a boat with blue sky above. Now I'm falling asleep as I'm falling in love. Ooh, ooh, is this the deep sea I've been dreaming of? Ooh, ooh, and I'm falling asleep and falling in love.
Thank you so much. You're lovely.
Glastonbury Growroom, one more time, give it up for the wonderfully talented, super entertaining and gorgeous Mary Bateman. Shouts out to all the team. Thank you guys for being such a wonderful audience. I've really enjoyed that week, so beautiful. And big shout outs to Natasha, Ian, Paul, all you guys, my mum, Chrissy Lee, and everyone watching at home. Be sure to share it, check out Mary's stuff online, join the Patreon, come down every single week, and we'll see you next week for week 21 of Glastonbury Grow Room.